medical malpractice and the pre-litigation process in the state of Utah. Medical malpractice cases in the state of Utah are considered complicated litigation. My name is George Tate, by the way. I'm a medical malpractice attorney here in the state of Utah. So the first step in a medical malpractice case, apart from intake and screening the case and getting all the medical records and finding experts, etc., 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 but with regards to the pre-litigation process in and of itself, there's certain criteria dictated by statute where you have to notify everybody that you're suing to put them on notice, and the Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing, DOPL, D-O-P-L, DOPL acronym, to have what is called a pre-litigation hearing. That pre-litigation hearing is an informal process where the plaintiff and the defendant show up, either nowadays by Zoom, but used to be in person, and some still are in person, and you put on your case. Plaintiff puts on their case, defendant puts on their case in an abbreviated format, talking primarily, and then plaintiff has a short rebuttal, and then the panel, the pre-litigation panel, deliberates. Now, the pre-litigation panel is usually made up of an attorney chairperson, a physician or a hospital administrator, depending on who you're suing. So if you're suing a orthopedic surgeon, there'll be an orthopedic surgeon from the same community or state at least sitting on the panel. There's also a lay person, okay? That's a person drawn from the community, and that makes up the panel. And the panel will determine whether your case is, quote, meritorious or not meritorious. Now, most pre-litigation hearings come back non-meritorious for the plaintiff, okay? And there's reasons for that I'll talk about in a minute, but nonetheless, most of them come back non-meritorious. So what happens? Plaintiff thinks she has a case, she finds an attorney, goes through the pre-litigation process, you finally have your hearing, non-meritorious. Does that mean you're sunk? The case is no good? Not at all. There's been litigation over the pre-litigation process here in the state of Utah, and the Division of Occupational and Professional Licensing basically is, as far as I'm concerned, a hoop jumping exercise to slow down litigation in medical malpractice cases. Regardless whether your case is found to be meritorious or non-meritorious, the division will produce a certificate of compliance. That certificate of compliance, meaning that you've satisfied the pre-litigation statute and done the hoop jumping exercise of having a hearing, allows you then to move on and file your case in court. And that is the beginning of litigation, true litigation. That's why this is called pre-litigation. So let's stop a minute and think about why most plaintiff cases at the pre-litigation level come back non-meritorious. Can you think of the reason why? Well, let's look at the panel. You have an attorney chairperson. You have another physician from the practice that you're suing. In my example, I used an orthopedic surgeon from the state of Utah. So if you're suing an orthopedic surgeon in the state of Utah, another orthopedic surgeon from the state of Utah will be sitting on the panel, plus a layperson. Can you think of the reason why the case usually comes back non-meritorious? I'll just leave it by saying birds of a feather flock together. No orthopedic surgeon in the state of Utah is going to say that another surgeon, orthopedic surgeon from the state of Utah, malpracticed. Why? Well, let's say that that surgeon in the pre-litigation panel says, yeah, there was malpractice on Surgeon Smith. Well, it might come that Surgeon Smith will be on the panel when that doctor who said there was malpractice is being sued for malpractice. And furthermore, if you ask any doctors, most of them will say that malpractice doesn't even happen. Okay? So that's the ins and outs of the pre-litigation process in the state of Utah. It's essentially, as far as I'm concerned, a hoop jumping exercise, slows down litigation, but it's a necessary evil that we have to comply with in order to get our certificate of compliance, in order to move forward with litigation. So thanks for listening. If you have any questions about medical malpractice in the state of Utah, I'm happy to answer them. Simply text, email, or call us, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Take care.